Do the math. Holla, my name.
Affiliate world. I can't even start to tell you how much I love this stage, and I've been doing this since 2018 back in Barcelona. Hopefully, I've gotten better. I'm not that good at building presentations and designing them, but I'm very good with the information dump that you guys are going to get. This is one of my most advanced and tactical presentations that I have ever written. Everything here is new, and everything here is stuff that I currently use. So it's going to be an information dump for sure. It's everything that I basically do right now, from Google Ads to Meta. We're going to go through very advanced stuff, and I hope that you get as much value as you guys can. This is me. By the way, that QR code, you're going to have a link to my YouTube channel, my Instagram thing, everything is there. And this QR code is going to be following us throughout the presentation. So if you want to subscribe and add me after, you're gonna get lots of value from the free content that I share. I do not have a course or something like that. I have e-com brands, some lead gen stuff. With the e-com stuff, I'm gonna go over $100 million this year in revenue. I have a small agency, and I do this. So I'm a moderator with Affiliate World Forum, formerly STM, and I just absolutely love this industry. I'm also known as the guy that proposed in Dubai, if you guys remember that. If you don't, then you missed out on the first and only proposal in Affiliate World. I do not know why I did that, and I promise I'm not going to propose to anyone today. Maybe this chick that's not even looking. No, I'm joking. And yes, for those who are skeptical if it was true or not, we did get married, and this is the first time that I'm sharing this, but we are pregnant also. Yes, she's week 16th, and hopefully by the time that I watch this video, I'm already a father. Wow, that gives me shivers. This, by the way, was all possible because of this industry. So we're going to cover lots of topics. I'm going to go fast in between them, so make sure that if you like something or if you have questions, then you take a picture of the slide. Some of the stuff is on my YouTube page and channel, and the other stuff is going to be added. So we're going to go through a bunch of stuff. Some targeting features on native. We're going to talk about why and how CPMs and CPCs on Facebook right now are crazy, and two very advanced and smart methods that you haven't thought of in order to really lower the CPC. We're going to talk about the halo effect, how to get more sales on Amazon, how to get more sales on the branded searches stuff, on your e-com and lead gen stuff. We're going to talk about how to extract everything from being managed at an ad platform. I'm going to go over some tactics on Google Ads, like similar websites, search intent, and how to use the Google audiences in order to really extract things. Everything here is a very, very easy way on how you can basically either lower your CPA or get more volume. We're going to talk about micro conversions on Google, location-based campaigns, very easy win usually. And we're going to talk about what I call creative misconception. And at the end, I'm going to share some Facebook hacks that I haven't heard anyone talk about these. So let's start. Everyone knows and everyone experienced how CPMs and CPCs right now on Facebook are going completely crazy. And we have read that Facebook released a report, and they were saying that they're changing the algorithm, and the CPMs and CPCs are likely to go up, basically. And I think that there are two types of media buyers. The first type is someone who's new to the industry. They mostly care about CPAs. They don't care about CPCs and CPMs that much, as long as they get CPAs, good CPAs. And at the end of the day, I think that if you want to have a campaign that's scalable and a campaign that you can actually keep, stable throughout the CPA that you need, the only way is to get those low CPCs and CPMs basically compared to what you need to get, or compared to your industry, product, or niche. And that's the only way to actually stabilize the campaign and scale it. So what do people usually do when you have a very high CPM or CPC campaign? Usually people create more ads, right? But I want to suggest two things that have been working very good for me. So for anyone here that's running search or content arbitrage, lift your hands. Okay, so quite a few. I don't know if you ever tested, but if you go and test VSL versus search arbitrage page, for example, for the same niche, you're going to see that you get 90% less CPC. And what that tells me, as someone who really is challenging the system always, is that the system on Facebook right now is very much like Google, that's actually looking at the content. They want to see that you actually provide value. So when you launch a VSL page that just is a video, the platform doesn't really know what value you're actually giving. But when you launch or you send people to a page that has lots of content, pictures and text, then basically the CPC is much, much lower. So that's one thing that you want to consider, the quality of your page. The second thing that people are missing out on is the fact that there is a way for the algorithm to check the quality of the ad, regardless if it's a picture, a static image, or a video. And usually what people do, they create the video within the specs of whatever they want on Facebook, Reels 9:16, 16:9, and 1:1. But they forgot that also if you push the quality of the image higher, then the algorithm would also rate that image or video high. This is the first time I'm sharing this, but the way I test if the algorithm is going to check if it's good or not, believe it or not, is on Bing, on Microsoft Advertising. I launch a campaign there, video campaign, and when I upload the video, it will tell me if the quality is poor or good. You want to make sure that Bing rates your videos as excellent quality, because on my experience is that it's not obviously the same algorithm because it's different companies, but it's the same way that the algorithm checks it. So that's a very good way to check it. Once you get a very good high quality video or image, Facebook would rate you higher and your CPCs would go down. That's a very easy thing that would allow you to overcome your competitors. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook. So we have ASC, ABO, and CBO, and in order to really understand how Facebook works, you need to understand the evolution. So when Facebook started, we only had CBOs, and then Facebook transitioned into the campaign structure on Google, which is ABO. You have a campaign, ad sets, and ads inside. And then we got ASC not too long ago, which is the advanced shopping campaign. And if you already know Facebook, you know that when they introduce something new, the old thing doesn't really disappear. It either stays in certain ways or it changes. So basically, it turned into ASC that we have right now. So the way I see it is that we have ASC, which is super automated campaign. Even the audience is super optional there. CBOs that are more, let's say, smarter, and it takes like 3 days for the campaign to really dial in. And then you have the more analog ABO. I usually use ABOs in order to test creatives, and then I would throw them into either CBOs or ASC when I want to scale. So the thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to that is basically, these are three, the way I see it, is that there are three different algorithms. And you have two approaches when it comes to A/B testing. What I did is I tested the same type of creatives, the same type of landing page, and the same type of offer with ASC and with CBO campaigns. And the different advertorials that when I A/B tested it, that actually managed to work were completely different between the two. And this is something that is continuously happening. And there are kind of like many theories to it. The first one says that basically because the algorithm already recognizes who purchases, who buys, what the audience is, and it already recognized the initial page, then it's gonna, get a higher conversion rate on that page. The second theory means or says that because we're using different algorithms in ASC versus CBO, then we're gonna get different placements, different audiences. Because if you think about it, what's the difference between ABO, CBO, and ASC? You're getting the same placements, it's the same stuff. It's not like it's on different placements like a different network on the Google ads. So what I think or recommend that you should do is when you A/B test, make sure that if you're using any kind of tracker, red track, volume, make sure that you open up separate campaigns for ASC and separate campaigns for CBO, because different advertorials, different upsells, and different flows are going to work differently within every part of this one. I want to jump over to natives. I don't know if anyone here uses Taboola, but this has been a very good product. It's very new. Most people don't know it, but you can now target by email domain and keywords. A very, very specific way of targeting inside Taboola. If you have been a media buyer with Google Ads a long time, then you must remember the way to target inside Gmail. It worked really good. It was kind of like the discovery campaigns back then. So basically, you can target very super high intent audience within the native network. It works in all of the bigger geos, and how you do it is when you launch a campaign, you can create a new audience, and you choose email domains. When you create an email domain, you can start adding different email domains that are relevant for you. So let's say this product has to do with cars, and we're going to add a few domains. And because you want to run smoothly and you want to run on a narrowed down audience, you want to make sure that you also remove all of the block lists. So usually what happens is people would duplicate one of their existing campaigns, and that also duplicates the blocking lists that you have there. So you want to make sure that you remove there. And also you want to make sure that you have enough volume. So you don't want it to be super narrow, and you don't want it to be super wide. If you already know that you have a decent amount of volume on every domain, make sure that you also segment them into smaller audience so you can start to optimize and open up different campaigns. And since we're mostly looking for intent and performance because we're looking for sales or people that would convert, this is how you really push this feature forward. So you want to add keywords that allow you to target not only email domains, but also keywords that actually appear within the email. So subjects or within the body of the email. So the way you do it is you open up another audience, and this audience is only search keywords based, and you combine it into the same campaign. So the trick is you use the match type. You see match type, it has broad and it has exact. This is how you defined how long it's going to be in terms of when that person received that email. So if you're looking for more intent and your product is shorter sales cycle, you want to go with exact, and I suggest that you start with that, because even if you're going to have a problem scaling it, you're still going to have very good CPAs. Next up, we're going to talk about some uplift impact. So as someone who runs lots of e-com, I look at the whole 360. I don't mind breaking even on Facebook if I'm getting lots of sales on Amazon, and I don't mind losing on Facebook if I'm getting lots of branded search and people who buy on Google. So we all know that CPCs and CPMs are directly contributing to that halo effect in searches. And again, there is no simple way of really knowing what contributed to those sales. So basically, you don't know if Facebook is doing it or not. But I've been, throughout the last 2 years, really experimenting with that. And this is the list I created in terms of the biggest impact on halo effects. TikTok, natives, YouTube, and then Google and Instagram. The reason why I think TikTok creates the biggest impact is the fact that it's the biggest discovery platform out there right now, and people actually compare. So these are the people who would not be scammed or don't want to be scammed. They go on Amazon, they search for the prices and stuff like that. With natives, you're just getting high quality and low CPMs, and with YouTube, you're getting super high quality and usually lower CPCs than Facebook. So that is what I had to share in terms of the uplift impact. Let's talk about how to extract everything from really being managed. So we all know that if you've been a media buyer long enough, you know that it's very hard to run on some ad platforms if you are not managed there. So this was really written in blood, and I'm going to give you a few commandments on how to really extract everything that you can. First thing, you want to negotiate. If you spend a lot or if you intend on spending a lot, the smaller platforms and even Facebook would negotiate some sort of like cashback or coupons or tests that they want you to do in order to get some money back. So you want to do that definitely. There are also levels to different teams. So for example, if you're running an e-com product and you are being assigned to someone who works within the arbitrage space, you're probably not going to get all the benefits and all of the knowledge that that person has to give to you. The third thing is you want to ask, they almost always have some beta features, some experimental stuff. You want to extract everything that you can. Sometimes they would even give you like a budget to test that feature and stuff like that. One thing that I like doing when I go on calls with them, I ask them to share their screens because I can see what's blocking the campaign, what's cannibalizing, how they see things. Because sometimes they just go through 70 or 100 accounts. They don't really have the motivation to tell you, oh, because you're using the same ads here, or here you have ad fatigue, and that's causing you from not serving so much. So you want to ask them for like a screen share if that's possible. Some people would actually do that. You also want to ask them, what category am I in? And this is mostly for native stuff, but sometimes if you run a certain product that fits a certain category and they put you in a different category, you're competing against people who are non-relevant, basically. And that gives you very bad audience or very high CPCs compared to what you can actually get. On natives, you really want to use what they have in terms of blocking all of the arbitrage sites and stuff that doesn't really convert. That's also something that I like to do. The one last thing in terms of natives that really is written in blood, lots of times people would go on a call with their rep and their rep would tell them, oh, I have this competitor is running these and these offers on these and these placements. Let's copy these placements. It's not going to work. I know that some of you already tested it, but the algorithm has to go through a process that you actually exclude those placements and stuff like that. You can't just jump start it from that place. Moving on to Google, search intent. One of the biggest, I think, two tools that I use that I'm going to share today. On Google, basically, you run on the search network, but you get the traffic from other places. That means that you pay a lot less for search intent-based traffic. So it's like having a remarketing audience inside one of your competitors, basically. So this is how you do it. You go into the shared library, you go into the audiences manager, and you open up a custom audience segment that is a search intent. You call it by name, and then you have two options here. This is one of the biggest mistakes when people are using similar audiences and search intent audiences. They're allowing the system to choose the default option, which is people with these interests. That means that you're targeting broad, you're not really targeting keywords. You want to choose the second option, and you want to add as many keywords as you can. And again, if you're running a search campaign already and you have those winning keywords, just import them into that campaign because it's going to work better. I don't know who here is old enough, but that's the example that came to mind, that company. But let's say we're selling phones, then one audience that I would usually do is my brand, the other audience would be competitors, and then the third audience would be like just long tail keywords that are just, I like to segment everything because in Google you can actually use these audiences and see whatever is working good or not. So these are the types of usually audiences, the three initial ones that I do. With similar audiences, basically it's a way to use the equivalent of a lookalike audience just within Google without using your own pixel. So Google is going to create audiences based on people who surfed specific websites. So this is how you create it. You go into the same spot and then you choose basically websites. Here too, I like to create three types of sites. My own website, my competitors' websites, and then a generic long tail type of audience. If I already know that I have a very large competitor, then I would segment them into a separate audience. I know it's a lot, but I really wanted to share lots of stuff, so I hope you guys enjoy the value. The other thing is how people can actually extract a lot from the way that Google audiences work. And this is something that really helps me just remove a lot of like the bad traffic and lower the CPA by a lot. The reason is that when you run on Facebook, you have certain audiences, you have certain placements, but you don't know which audience is really converting better. With Google, you can actually separate and drill down to specific audiences. So that helps you not only target better, but also you can start excluding. So even if you start a very wide campaign, you can see whatever audience is not doing well, and you can either beat it down or exclude it. So how you do that is when you go into audiences and then you start adding. I just like to add a bunch of stuff from my own costume audiences to lookalike audiences, and then even some in-market audiences. Make sure that you choose observation, which is what's recommended, because you don't want to target those people. You just want to get information about those segments and then start excluding, bid adjusting, or separating and opening up a new campaign with these audiences. That really helps you, one, optimize faster. It helps you decide which audience is not reacting good. So even if you target wide and you see that this in-market audience doesn't work, you can always exclude it, and it just works very good for me. I want to jump into some Facebook hacks, and I know that this is really an advanced group of people and you've all been in the industry in one way or another, so I really thought what I can bring you guys in order to really jumpstart it. So a few tips that really are a game changer for my campaigns. The first one, placement exclusions. When I get a new campaign up, and I've tested this with a lot of money, so trust me, if you start excluding some live in-stream live placements and stuff like that, that would be an instant CPA drop. The second thing is if you're doing any type of like longer video, like a VSL or something like that, open up a separate campaign that only targets Wi-Fi and stuff like that. You will see, if you are using a tracker, you will see that people that watch the video would be just better on that campaign. The third thing is audience controls, and this really works good with ASC because ASC is targeting very wide. You almost have no control over lots of things. So when you open up, this is something that you manage within the account level. You can click on see audience controls and then placement controls, and you can start removing some placements and experiment with whatever works for you. One last thing regarding attribution settings, this is something that I found people are not really touching. So my general rule of thumb is that for everything that is a longer sales cycle or a longer or a higher ticket, I would leave it at 7 days. For anything less than that, I usually switch it to one-day click, and then I remove the engagement and I remove the view through. So basically you're getting enough conversions. Another very, very easy trick, this is not a genius thing, but if you have lots of data on your tracker, I usually like opening up a separate location-based campaign. So for example, I would take the bigger states and I would look at whatever's converting good in terms of EPC or conversion rate, and I usually like to remove the bigger states like, you know, Ohio, Florida, California, stuff like that. Then I really allow basically those smaller states a chance, you know, because usually what happens is that the bigger states attract all of the files. So you want to make sure that you kind of like give a fair chance to the smaller states, and also you just target whatever is working for you right now. So make sure that you just have a decent amount of volume. Micro conversions on Google. Usually, if you have Shopify, you have the Facebook app, and you have all of the micro conversions like add to cart, add to wish list, initiate checkout, stuff like that. With Google, people are just implementing the purchase pixel, and I think it's a shame because they're missing out. Implementing the smaller micro conversions allow the algorithm to get more data and as to how the funnel works, but it also saves you money because you don't have to spend a lot in order to see if that YouTube channel or placement is just wasting clicks. So you have two options of doing that. The first one is manual, and the second one is basically installing the Shopify Google app. We're coming close to a few more subjects in the end. So the biggest mistake I've seen people do when it comes to remarketing campaigns is that they don't understand the difference between remarketing and remarketing-based campaigns. And then they come and they say, oh, remarketing doesn't work for me. And basically, you have two options. The first option is pure remarketing, which is I really want to target bottom-of-funnel people. The second option is using that bottom-of-funnel traffic that I have as the seed audience, but I also want to get like top-of-funnel traffic, and I want the campaign to explore. Inside Google, it's a bit hidden, and that's why people are missing out on that. So if you want to see where it is, you have to go inside the campaign, and then inside the ad set. You're not going to find it inside the campaign settings. And when you click on settings inside the ad group or the ad set level, you're going to see that that option is basically checked by default. And that creates a situation where you're not actually targeting the bottom of funnel traffic. You're getting a lot of top of funnel traffic and basically wasting money. I want to talk about two reasons why campaigns fail. The first one is bad budget to payout ratio. And the second one is that you're using more creatives than you need. The first part is what usually happens is that people are launching a campaign. They're getting, let's say, a payout of $100. They're launching the campaign at $300. And then what happens is that the platforms give really good results in the first 2 to 3 days. And then the CPA goes up, the campaign goes down, and people think that it's creative fatigue. They have to change creatives, where it's not that. What actually happened is that the algorithm needs a decent amount of conversions. If you're not feeding the algorithm is going to think that you gave them enough budget, but it's not, it's under-delivering basically. So it's going to go into an exploration mode, search for more creatives, search for more genders, more placements, more audiences, and that's why your CPA goes up. So you have to understand that if you're going to play a big game and you're selling a higher ticket item, you need a high or bigger budget. If you are selling something that the payout is $20, then you can launch a campaign at $300, but you can't use the same budget just to test, because then you're going to get stuck at a campaign that doesn't really spend that much. I want to talk to you about a new research that was released not that long ago. And that research basically tested 1,500 TV ads in different markets and did not find any correlation between what they call the fed-up score and the ad frequency, meaning there was no correlation between the amount of times people saw ads and how much they were fed up with them. They found that we get bored from our own creatives much faster than our audience, and we need to stop changing creatives that fast. And they also found that it was really the opposite, and that the people were more likely to buy if they saw the ad more times or the creative more times. And this is relevant to top of funnel, but not just to TV ads, because they've tested other stuff. System 1 also released research that was very similar. So when we talk about bottom of funnel, the conclusion is just different. They found that the conversion rate drops a lot after the person saw the ad 4 times. So the conclusion is, based on this research at least, make more bottom of funnel ads and less top of funnel ads, and stop pumping a lot of creatives into your campaigns. This was my presentation. Thank you so much.
Do the math.